But welcome back to the TD podcast. I'm Dak. That's Tony, and it's Waiver Wire Wednesday, baby. Let's get into it. Let's get
Talk some
into
fantasy football.
fantasy football. It's a lot of our lives, and let's start off. Ant, how'd your fantasy football teams do this weekend?
So I think I went 2-3. I think I went no. I went 1-4.
Oof,
But but
oof.
so I won my work league, the competitive work league that I'm in, and I beat the guy that I traded Ashton Genty from. So I traded before week
That
one.
helps. That
Before week
helps.
one, I traded. This is a big trade. I traded Josh Jacobs and DJ Moore. I think that was it for Ashton Genty. And up until week four, Ashton Genty had done like jack all, but I then went and stopped him out. I could have benched Ashton Genty and still beaten him. So, and he was undefeated. I was defeated. I'm 1-3 now. He's 3-1. So I'll take that as a win.
Good,
That's what
good to
matters.
hear. Good to hear.
Yeah,
We both took losses in the dynasty league.
we did.
Um,
That was unfortunate.
I don't know how that's going. I accidentally started Mike Evans, so that tells you anything how my week went. I lost by 3 points.
I'm about sick and
So,
tired of T. Higgins, so he might.
um, I went 4-5 this week, and the only loss I had was in my dynasty league. ESPN, I went 3 for 3, and Yahoo, I scored 185 points, so it was pretty good. But you know who else had a pretty good week this week? I had Puka Nakua. He had 36 points, 13 catches, 50, on 15 targets, 170 yards, and a TD. And he's the number one player in fantasy football right now. So if you have a Puka Nakua on your team,
A Puka
uh,
Nakua, not the
hey,
A Puka Nakua.
you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have Puka Nakua. I was not buying any Rams stock this offseason because of Matt Stafford, and it's bitten me in the butt sorely. Um, now we're
Yes, because I
getting
have Devontae Adams.
yeah. I also traded away Jonathan Taylor. That's really biting me in the butt too.
To me,
Yeah. So we have
playing with Brees Hall.
our next. He's not doing too bad. So I mean, we both thought Braylon Allen was going to be the starter. So it could have been much worse.
Yeah, I should have given it to you, but
We have most surprising players of the week, studs and duds. And I think we all know, if you're a fan of the show, if you've watched any sort of episode of the show, if you look with your eyeballs at my pullover, you know who my stud of the week is. It's Ashton freaking Genty. It's about gosh darn time. I accidentally talked about it at the top of the show, but now this is on purpose. Hold on, I've even got a little coaster here. It's all backwards for you guys, but like look at that little pottery that I did. Boise State and Raiders. Anyways, he finally played well. I called it. I knew he was going to. The Bears' rush defense has been stinky poopy all season. The Raiders needed this. I wish it wasn't a win, but Ashton ended up with, depending on your scoring, ended up with a lot of points. He scored 3 touchdowns, 2 receiving, and 1 rushing with 138 rushing yards, if I remember correctly. So he had himself a good game, which is exactly what we all needed if you are an Ashton Genty owner, me included. That's what we all needed, and I'm so glad it happened in week 4. Hopefully he continues.
my most surprising stud was Kenneth Gainwell. Was only projected 11 points. He's sharing snaps, I believe, with 2 other running backs, and this week he just balled out for the Steelers in Ireland. Had 19 rushes for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, had 6 catches on 6 targets for 35 yards. But before this week, he wasn't even putting up double-digit numbers. He's like got to 9 points once, and now he's a top 20 fantasy football running back. So that's pretty insane week coming from a guy that's not getting that amount of touches and coming from someone that was a backup to Saquon Barkley last year. Is kind of showing that hey, he's a pretty good guy, and maybe he should get more of the snaps than Caleb Johnson, and I forget who else is
Jalen
back there in
Warren.
the backfield.
So Jalen Warren was actually hurt or out this game. That's why he
Okay,
got so many
okay,
carries. So he
okay.
capitalized. He went for 19 carries for 99 yards on averaged 5.2 yards a carry. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah,
That's a win, especially and the 2 touchdowns. So that's definitely a stud for this week. Not somebody I will be buying into, but a stud nonetheless. Now we have a dud that I did in fact buy into quite heftily this offseason, but it seems as though this trade may be panning out for me. In this offseason, I traded for Ladidi McConkey, or Lad McConkey, if you are not familiar with Key and Peele. This week, Lad had 6 targets, 1 catch for 11 yards. He was projected 14 points, had 2 points. Probably the reason I lost my game this week in Dynasty League. I traded Chase Brown, Cortland Sutton, and I think a pick for him. In hindsight, like looking back at it, maybe I lost the trade, but Chase Brown's sucking it up right now. Like, that entire Bengals team is sucking it up.
League. It's a Dynasty League.
Yeah, you know how old Lad McConkey is? Like 20. I think I'm older than Lad McConkey.
You know how old Chase Brown is?
It don't matter. You see how many times the Chargers are throwing the football versus how many times the Bengals are running the football?
Clearly not giving Lad the ball.
He had 6 targets. He's got to catch them.
Yeah, well, so did my dud and A.J. Brown. He had 9 targets and only had 2 catches. So
there you go. Our duds need to put some stickum on their hands and figure it out here. Because last season, Lad was a lad.
Yeah. To figure out why he only had 2 catches on 9 targets.
Yeah, I don't have the time for that.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
But 2 catches for 7 yards on 9 targets. My dud of the week is
7 yards. Yikes.
Yeah. So don't know what's going on with there, and I'm going to talk about him in about 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be less than that. Our next section, our next segment, our next part of the show, whatever the heck you want to call it, is our panic button. In this spot, we are going to be listing players that we think deserve to be on a poopy pedestal of the panic button. And we're going to be...
See this? This is the button, okay?
That's a rubber ducky, looks like
I am hitting
snowman.
the panic button.
If you're listening to this in podcast format, I apologize. The panic button for this week is us listing off 2 players each, and I'm going to kick us off with Derrick Henry. The Ravens look terrible. They look rough. Their record is not great. Luckily, they have, usually you would say luckily they have Derrick Henry. Because Lamar Jackson's out for the next possibly 3 to 4 weeks, and they have Cooper Rush at quarterback. So, panic button, maybe, because if Derrick Henry doesn't pick it up, they might be picking high, and
I don't necessarily know what's going on there. I mean, he's still getting the carries, just not
Derrick Henry.
Away, not being Derrick Henry, and then the fumbles he's having. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, late game fumbles that are costing the Ravens games. He's now practicing without sleeves on because he's been wearing sleeves, and that's, I guess, been causing the fumbles. But bad.
Hold on a second here. So if you aren't familiar with Pro Football Reference or PFR, on occasion they will have a nickname next to the player's name in like the little section, like Derrick Lamar Henry Jr. is his full name. But in parentheses, you have 2 nicknames for him. Usually, like everybody's familiar with the King Henry. Yeah. I have never heard Tractor Cito. Apparently, it's another nickname of his. But going back to his carries, so since week 1, he's had 11, 12, and 8 carries. So for some reason, his carries have gone down because week 1 was 18, and he averaged 9 yards a carry, 9 yards attempt. That's nuts. And even in the last couple of games, he's been efficient. They just haven't given him the ball.
I don't understand. I mean, I get they're playing from behind. He's there. I mean, give him the carries. I mean, he's gonna do Derrick Henry things eventually. He's gonna break away. You can't expect him to just get 1 carry and run 90 yards because he's Derrick Henry.
You know what? After seeing this, I'm not hitting the panic button, and I'm actually gonna go trade for Derrick Henry because somebody in my other league just put him on the trade block. So I'm gonna buy low and go get Derrick Henry because this next 3 to 4 weeks he's getting the rock with Lamar Jackson being out. So I'm gonna go buy low.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not doing it this episode, but go buy low. go buy Derrick Henry. At least I am, and then I'll let you know if it panned out. But you will also know by then. So, Dak, your turn.
You'll know by next week.
I'm going to go cook up a trade
I'm
while
hitting
you're
the panic
talking.
button on A.J. Brown. Only one big week, and the Eagles can clearly win without A.J. Brown, and they can clearly do it without a rock in his hands. And if he stays in Philly, he's just not going to be the same A.J. Brown that we have seen. And he's only averaging like 8 points per game, and in most leagues, you can get that off of your waiver wire. And you probably spent a first or second round pick on A.J. Brown. I'm hitting the panic of the duck really, really bad right now because A.J. Brown is not doing anything in fantasy football right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched an Eagles game since week 1, so I can't really say what they're doing. I know they're winning football games, and that's really what matters. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw a lot of the football around, so I guess you should have been aware of that. I mean, it's not like it's anything new in terms of how the Eagles play football. But with Kellen Moore leaving, that obviously leaves a bit of a different feel for the offense. I don't know about hitting the panic button. He's still getting the targets, which is what's really important. If he wasn't getting the targets,
really
that's
targets,
what's.
though.
I
think they're just like
9
targets, like at his feet and everything.
9, 10,
like
8, and 1. Like 9, 10, and 8 since week 1. Like those are good targets. Like whether or not he's catching them is different. I mean, last week he had 109 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, I understand that, but regardless, he's getting the ball thrown to him. I don't know how catchable those balls are because I don't have advanced analytics and stuff because I don't have PFF because I'm not made of money.
Be like that.
It do be like that. But I'm not going to hit the panic button yet. Call me crazy. I just think it's a long season, and A.J. Brown's still good at football. He's still getting the target share. Now, if he was getting like 3 targets a game, I'm not just hitting the panic button, I am throwing it out the window. So,
like how I am with my other person.
Yeah, me too, with Kyler Murray. I've been holding on to Kyler Murray for, I think, 2 or 3 seasons in my Dynasty League, hoping and praying that this man would learn how to score in fantasy football because he should be scoring in fantasy football. He's fast. He can run. That's really all I got because apparently he doesn't throw the football very often or very well because otherwise he'd score points. I even stacked Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm pretty sure I traded him. I don't remember if I traded him in this league. No. In my other league, I traded Marvin Harrison Jr. for Cortland Sutton. And you know what? It paid off this week at least. So,
For now.
Panic button, I'm hitting it on Kyler Murray because that man is inconsistent and cannot be your QB1. If for any recollection or okay, you're a little crazy, I'm starting Justin Fields over him. And he scored more points. Justin Fields had 25 fantasy football points. Kyler Murray had 19. You know who was 4 points behind him in quarterback points? Geno Smith. And Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. And 117 yards. I guess Kyler Murray also threw 2 interceptions. So I guess they both just stink. Panic button. I'm hitting it for Kyler Murray, especially with Call of Duty coming out. So.
Yeah, the next person I'm hitting the panic button on is Jamar Chase. No quarterback, clearly. The team can't figure out how to do the right things, and I get penalized. And there's no O-line.
Yeah.
They rushed 3 against 5 last night, and Browning was still sacked. So, you know what that means? No O-line.
Means he's bad at football.
No downfield production. And that's what we're used to seeing from Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Where he might still get the targets. He might still get the 1 to 2 yards, slant, whatever else, and hope and pray that he gets, away and breaks tackles and yards after catch. But, 5-6 targets of 5 yards is maybe 10 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the guy that was number 1 overall player in fantasy football this year.
Yeah.
He's got the number 1 overall player curse. And he may not have got injured to be the curse, but he's not in a good situation. And whoever's the number 1 overall player coming out the next year in fantasy football never really puts up any good years.
Yeah.
So panic. Trade him.
I'm probably hitting the panic button with this guy.
If you can go out and trade Jamar Chase for Ladd McConkey or not even Ladd McConkey, but go out and trade Jamar Chase for a solid like Mike Evans, since his
he's hurt though.
A little low right now. His value's a little low right now, and a running back, like a decent running back like Javonte Williams, you're winning that trade. Because there's no way, with Joe Burrow being out 12 to 14 weeks, that Jamar Chase will put up more than 20 a game.
I'm about to try and trade for Derrick Henry. What do you think it would take to get Derrick Henry right now?
Jamar Chase.
You think it would take Jamar Chase to get Derrick Henry right now?
No, just saying.
I'm about to send Zach Charbonnet for Derrick Henry straight up and see what happens.
Probably not gonna happen. But you know what will happen is Jonathan Taylor scoring a touchdown this weekend. So into the matchups we like this week.
Here we go.
Jonathan Taylor, back-to-back weeks for me. He didn't have that good of a game last week, but I think it was because of the penalties that hurt him. JT still had a great game, I think. He got the ball 22 times. Anytime you're giving the ball to someone more than 20 times a game is pretty darn good. The production's there, and the Raiders have struggled, I think, rushing-wise. Last week they didn't struggle that bad, but DeAndre Swift still scored a touchdown. But 2 weeks ago they mightily struggled on the ground, stopping the run game against the Commanders.
That was embarrassing.
3 rushing touchdowns were scored. And a team that has pretty much built themselves on the run in the past few years, I think it's going to help them. And the Raiders struggle on the road with rush defense, as they're giving up 130 rushing yards a game on the road. So I think he can easily go for 30 in the next few weeks, but I don't know when it is. But my other matchup I really like is Javonte Williams this week. He's going against the worst run defense in the league and the rush defense that gives up the most points to fantasy football running backs in the Jets. And Javonte Williams has had a great season so far. He really has bet on himself and is going to go for 20 plus this week.
Yeah, he's been the sleeper of the football season so far, because I was all the way off of Javonte Williams and anything Cowboys, and Javonte Williams has been a surprise of this season. My matchup I like this week is just the Rams receivers against the Niners. The Niners defense is hurt. Nick Bosa's out. Is Mykel Williams still out, or is he back in?
I think he's coming back, but C.J. West, their third-round D-tackle that they picked, has a broken hand.
Yeah, so he's out.
So
their secondary already wasn't very good. Struggling. Struggling. So really all you got to worry about in coverage, ideally, metaphorically, hypothetically, whatever word you want to plug in there, is Fred Warner. And luckily, Devontae Adams is like still a top 5 route runner in the league, and Puka Nacua is fast and good at football. So
yeah, and then Tutu Atwell just can take top off.
And Tutu Atwell can
freaking fast.
Yeah, so I don't think.
Oh, don't forget Jordan Whittington can easily have a good game too if someone goes down, because he's shown that he can play the X receiver really well in that system.
Yeah. Before we get to our matchups we don't like, what do we think about Bashal Tutin and Zach Charbonnet for Derrick Henry? Is that too much?
No. I like that. I like that. Throw in a third-round pick if you can.
I cannot. It's not Dynasty, but I sent it, and we'll see if it happens live, because that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. So now we have our matchups we don't like. So I was kind of lame this go around. I just have the Bengals wide receivers. I don't like Jake Browning. I don't think they have a good matchup for themselves. I don't even remember who they're playing this week.
The Lions.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I think that the Lions are just a better team. They're going to be playing from behind a lot, so the Lions can expect pass, and they already can expect pass because the Bengals don't really have a run game either. So
their O line is just horrible, and
their O line is just not good.
And again, Joe Burrow reminds me so much of Andrew Luck. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's a sad story.
No running game, and it's pretty bad. And you can't set yourself up for success by paying 2 receivers and no O line, because you gotta have an O line to be able to throw it to your receivers.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's just how football works, and it's proven that if you don't go that way,
yeah,
game is won by the trenches.
The Bengals
always set up that way.
The Bengals should have kept Drew Plitt a couple years ago instead of Jake Browning. If you don't know, Drew Plitt was the former Ball State quarterback, and he played a couple of their preseason games, and he actually played pretty well. And I'm pretty sure he's a free agent now. I don't think he's in the NFL.
He went over to the Bears for the practice squad, and then went and played in the XFL, and whenever that was a thing. And I think I don't think he's playing anymore. But Justin Hall is another Ball State guy.
Yeah, he was on the Raiders for a point in time.
Yeah, and then went to the XFL and ate up last year and led the league in receiving yards.
Oh, really?
And still has not got a contract in the NFL.
Chirp, baby. Yeah.
But yeah, matchups we don't like. For me, I'm going with Amarian Hampton. Again, he's not getting the ball very much. Granted, they played well, but he's still not getting those reps. He's not going to have a week like he had last week. He might get 10 to 12 points this week. He's playing the Commanders team that's on the top half of the league by rushing defense and doesn't really give up that many points to rushing to running backs. And I think the Commanders are going to get healthy on offense, and it's going to be the Chargers passing the ball a lot to keep up with the Terry McLaurin and the Jaden Daniels coming back from injury. I think that you're going to be struggling if you have Amarian Hampton and you're expecting a 30-point game again.
Yeah, I would like – so if you – before we get any further, if you want a deeper dive on that game, go watch our Week 4 recap, which we posted on Tuesday this week. So today, right now when we're recording it, but you don't know that because voodoo magic for recording things.
Correct.
I'm indifferent. I don't know how I feel about Marion Hampton yet. Obviously, he's going to get more carries than he was before because Najee Harris is like out forever. If I'm not mistaken, right? Or am I thinking of Austin Eckler? He's gone?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope. Najee Harris, non-contact injury, fell over, and Justin Herbert jumped over top of him and then still made a 12-yard throw on the money. So.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Marion Hampton. I would probably still play him just because the Commanders' defense is a little iffy. And he, again, did have a great game and did do well with only the 12 attempts that he had. But I wouldn't expect him to do what he did last week just because of how good Bobby Wagner is at tackling people.
Yeah.
Like, they're not great in terms of, like, coverage and stuff, but they're pretty good at tackling. So they're a bunch of gritty veterans that are just happy to play football still.
Yes, and have a lot of experience.
Yeah, a lot of experience in big games and things, especially if you're Bobby Wagner. I believe that caps off our Waiver Wire Wednesday episode. If you enjoyed, hit the like, subscribe, comment down below for players.
Please comment,
that
guys.
you
Let us
guys
know what we're doing. Give us some engagement.
Yeah, and let us know what you guys think in terms of like matchups you guys don't like or players that we missed out on. Who were your studs of the week that saved you in fantasy football? Who were the duds that screwed you over in fantasy football? Let us know in the comments below because there's different scoring and all that fun stuff. I thought that was going to be the trade. It was just a notification. Anyways, follow us on all the things down below as well as our Twitter or X, whatever you choose to call it. It is basically the exact same thing as everything else. Just look for the logo in the corner above Dak's head. If it has that logo, that's our thing. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed. And because you've watched this episode, because we know ball and we know fantasy football, now you do too. And now you can go win fantasy football games. And hopefully we do too. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.